Sounds great.
Hello and welcome, Mr. Inzerello, who is running this for 6th Ward Alderman in April 4th, 2023, and its constituent election. Thank you for participating in this candidate interview. To start things off, I'll be asking a variety of questions which were developed in a collaboration between Maine West Westerner, the student newspaper, and Pi Sigma Pi, the Social Science Honor Society. You will have 2 minutes to share your answer to each one. When 2 minutes have passed, I ask that you only take a few seconds to finish your thought so that we can move on to the next question. Now, the first question, we would like to know, let's say you get elected. When your term is up, what are 3 specific improvements you will have helped to make in the Plains?
So these are not things that aren't happening right now. They're just keys to basically my decision-making process. So those are inclusive safety, communication through technology, and fiscal responsibility. So we need to make sure that any money that's spent in the city, it doesn't alienate any of the residents. We also need to make sure that safety is at the forefront of all those decision-making processes. And we need to implement technologies that drive involvement with our residents so that they can be more involved. And also all of this while staying within budget. Part of the financial responsibility is also holding ourselves accountable, which is why if I get elected, I won't be accepting any insurance to the city, which will be saving the city $20,000 right off the bat. And then any salary that's given to me by the city will be donated to the Des Plaines Food Pantry in its entirety.
Thank you for your reply. We will now turn to our second question. Again, you'll have 2 minutes to provide your answer. Our second question is, new building developments in Des Plaines have been a hot-button issue of late. How do you plan to align building development with community development? How will you be sure that you are making choices that reflect what constituents want?
I think we need to look at public-private partnerships, tax incentives, public land provided by the local small government. Private organizations can then provide their expertise with capital investment, job creation, and all the expertise that we might not have running the city. I think reflecting what constituents want it's the basis of what an alderman has to do, right? I mean, that's their whole piece. And that technology piece that I mentioned earlier is how I would want to tie in what the constituents would want and expect. I think giving residents an easy way to communicate their concerns is essential, not just to make sure that everyone has a voice, but also to make the right decisions for the city and its residents.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. Please take the next 2 minutes to respond to our third question. For our third question, we'd like you to explain to voters what is something you want to see added or changed in Des Plaines in order to provide recreational activities and promote local businesses.
So local businesses bring recreational opportunities to the residents. I think we need to look at possibly actively scouring business registries, regulatory databases, and be proactive in reaching out. Maybe even looking into enterprise zoning, because bringing business into the city, that's what creates those recreational opportunities and is definitely our priority.
Thank you for your answer. Okay. Thank you for your answer. I would like for you now to consider our fourth question. The fourth question is, what specific means of communication will you use in order to regularly communicate with constituents, whether it be newsletter sent out, a dedicated Facebook page, or regular ward meetings?
So this is actually a kind of a big part of my the reason why I wanted to campaign to do this. The communication within technology, or communicating through technology, is a vital piece of this. So it's actually up and running right now. DesPlainesCity.com is a website where anyone in the ward or anyone in Des Plaines can go and voice their concerns. So at the bottom of that page, it's DesPlainesCity.com. There's 3 steps. One, of course, is to register to vote. Number 2 is to vote. And number 3 is a survey. And that survey gets changed every week and or bi-weekly, depending on the agendas of the meetings, depending on the hot topics. And so there's going to be a one-stop shop where all residents can go and they can voice their concerns in an easy, productive way. Because as an alderman, my job is to stand up for the residents and to speak for them. So their opinions actually matter more than mine. Fortunately, without that push in technology, we don't have a way for people to share their thoughts. And so this, displaincity.com, is going to be an easy way for Ward 6 to be able to communicate and share their ideas, and also get to take part in the voting process to allow them to have their voices heard.
Thank you for your explanation. We will now turn to our final question of the day. Please share with voters your opinion in response to this question. How do you plan to promote inclusivity and diversity? How do you plan to seek out voices of all different backgrounds and experiences? How do you plan to represent them?
I think that one of the main things is we have to be aware of an unconscious bias, right? And we have to invite diversity into that conversation. And what I mean by that is not being afraid to bring it up when there is an issue. Diversity representation is part of the strategy of decision making. It's not just an HR tagline. So one of the ways that we do that is similar to the previous point that I made, was that website. It allows everyone to have their voice heard, which is a part of making sure that everyone in the community is represented correctly.
Okay, that concludes our interview questions. If voters would like more information about your platforms or plans, what would be the best way to find out more details?
If you go to displaincity.com,
okay.
They can also, for anyone that's in Ward 6, can feel free to leave me a comment. While this was going to eventually be something that would have been implemented if I won, I thought there was value in getting people's opinion during the process of running for this campaign. So that's up and running now. People can go to that site, displaincity.com, get a quick synopsis of some of my bullet points of why I'm running and what I view as important, but then also that step 3 at the bottom, they can share their own opinions now.
Great. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Just once again, thank you for your participation in this interview and for your interest in serving our community.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yep.